All right, front desk success, front desk success, front desk, the entry point to your business. The people that grow your practice, that create patient success, that create business success. Yes, you heard that properly, your front desk. So if you think your front desk aren't revenue generators, if you think your front desk are taskmasters, if you think your front desk should be the last hire and the first fire, then you're in the wrong place, or maybe you're in the right place, because I'm going to change not only your mind around that, but I'm going to change your perspective and give you all the information and all the tools you need to understand why you have been overlooking, check this out, the most valuable team member. How can they be the most valuable, Jerry? Well, if we look at the patient life cycle and how a patient gets to us, they're the first touch point. So without them, we basically don't have the patient. So we could say the provider delivers the service, delivers the care, delivers the product, but without the front desk, we don't have the people for the providers. And then we're going to take that even deeper, because most people watching this and most people out there go, yeah, the front desk plays an important role. They get people scheduled. That is the worst freaking job you can give to a front desk person. Their job is to put and get people on the schedule who will arrive, pay, stay, and do your marketing with you, versus get people scheduled. So you tell me what role sounds more important, what role is more important, what role is an integral part to patient success, and what role is an integral part to business success, and which one isn't. So it's time to rewrite the job postings. It's time to rewrite the job responsibilities and metrics, because I guarantee you the metrics most people aren't even using any metrics of success for the front desk. So where's the accountability? And it's always around all that fucking paperwork and insurance bullshit. I have banged heads with more practice owners around the tasks they give to their front desk people, because they want to keep them busy. I'll never forget the time I was working with a practice member, and he kept saying, well, if we have someone who's just answering new patient calls, what do they do when they're not on the phone? That was the first response. So we knew where the mindset was. So I said, that's cool. I said, how about this? How about we back it up? And I said, how much value, how much is a new patient on the schedule who completes a plan of care, who gets better, work to your company? We came up with a number. I said, so are we worried about the minuscule tasks that this person is doing when they're not on the phone? Or are we worried about making sure they're available and free to answer the phone? And then in between, yes, the task in between should equate to what they've done on those new patient calls, and to maintain the relationship and to continue to build trust and decrease fear, doubt, and uncertainty during this phase 2 sales process. When your front desk answers the phone, their ownership, their accountability after they hang up doesn't end until that patient is greeted by the therapist in the waiting area. So think about how long that is. That is really, really important to understand that they own this relationship. So if you're wondering what they're going to do when they hang up the phone, it better be related to the things they promised to that person, or the things they know needs to happen in order to assure that that patient will arrive, pay, stay, and do your marketing with you, right? Which is the theme of this whole day. And I'm going to tell you the 5 questions that need to be answered to make sure you're thinking along those lines, right? All this plays into those 5 questions, because if you're thinking that way, that's the only way these 5 questions can come around. And if you're thinking of them as taskmasters and people that get people scheduled, then none of these 5 questions will make sense to you. These 5 questions are related to understanding the role that the front desk salesperson plays in patient and business success. Because remember, without patient success, we will never have business success. It's that simple. So if you're caught up on the word sales, you're going to have to get over it. Being caught up on the verbiage of sales and business and marketing is what's gotten healthcare to swing the pendulum so far to one side that there's no awareness around what the front desk role really is. Well, they're just there to help get people scheduled. They're just there to, provide a role for the providers. And I'm like, that's all wrong. Because once you understand patient life cycle, then you understand the role of every team member and the value they bring, and how they all complement each other, and how nobody's here or here, it's all here. We gotta come from that mindset before these 5 questions can ever even make sense. Once we understand all that, the entry point of the business, the patient life cycle, the role that the front desk plays in patient success and business success, the key patient metrics, the key business metrics that they influence on that first phone call, the understanding of the phase 2 sell cycle and what must be done to continue to build trust and decrease fear, doubt, and uncertainty, then these 5 questions will make sense. I'm going to give you these 5 questions, and what you're going to do is reverse engineer them. I got to the 5 questions the way I told you, slowly, over time, over about 12 years. And what I'm going to do is give you the 5 questions, and you can go, okay, what does that mean to what I'm currently doing? What do I need to change to get to the point that these 5 questions, A, can be even asked? Because if any of you go in and ask your front desk people these 5 questions, you're going to baffle the hell out of them, because you have not made this a priority. You did not hire them to do the things that these 5 questions will answer. You did not train them properly. And it is what it is. And how do I know you? Because I've called. I've secret called. And man, there is some bad consistency out there. As I like to tell everybody, I have good news and bad news. You're just like everybody else. There's rarely a call, less than 2% of the calls I make and or have made can answer these 5 questions. And I'd say less than 2% are even in a position to answer these. So could they? I don't know. So I'd say less than the 2% could even answer the questions. They probably have set themselves up to do it, but do they even know? We must understand the front desk and the sales cycle that the front desk owns in order to be more successful with our patients. I've defined the word selling, redefined it, because we need to own that word. And if you don't think getting someone to buy into a plan of care, to buy into an exercise program, PTs use the verbiage every single day in every conversation. Convince, educate, share information, all this all day long in their conversation. When I say that's selling, they say we don't sell. I'm like, you just textbook define the word sell as it is in all the business, marketing, and sales literature. So let's own that, because there's better information. There's better information on that side. So let's go approach it with an open mind and go, does this fit? I mean, that's what I've been doing the last 12, 15 years. Taking all these books over here, and moving them over to healthcare and say, how does this apply to patient success? Because patient success is client success. And then client success is business success. And then business success is success for you, your team, and everybody else. So the formula's already been done. Formula's been done. The math's been done. It's been proven over and over. So it's time to own some of these business words like selling. You will find, as I have found, that if we approach it this way, it's easier for people to comprehend and grasp what you want them to do. We're constantly trying to come up with new words to mean different things. Well, we care. So does every good salesperson I know. Well, we don't sell. Well, yeah, you do. And you'll sell when you get home, when you tell your significant other you want Italian food and they want Chinese food. You'll sell. And you'll sell your kids 300 times before bedtime. So we all sell. So enough of that. You guys will get that again, and I'll beat that dead horse again another day. So let's go on to these 5 questions. And these 5 questions are, again, around this whole idea of what does the front desk have to do to set a patient up for success. In this process of setting a patient up for success, ultimately what they're doing is making sure when this person sits in front of the provider, they're already bought in. They're ready to buy in. They're ready to agree to a plan of care that is right for them. That's what you all went to job. Most of you all went to school for. 4, 5, 7 years worth of school, $100,000 of debt. You learn how to sit across from someone, listen to their story, take them through an examination, and then give them an assessment and a plan of care. And if appropriate, refer out. Guess what the goal of the first phone call is? It's to make sure the patient knows that that is what's going to occur, and that they're sitting across from the right person who will do those 3 things. That's what these 5 questions revolve around. And this connects, what else you should notice is the connection between the front desk and the provider. Most clinics have 0 connection. They hand them the information sheet. They hand them a name, a date of birth, an address, a diagnosis, a doctor's name. It really has nothing to do about the patient. And I would argue that diagnosis probably has very little to do with why they're there. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Nobody calls your clinic for low back pain. They call your clinic because they can't go to CrossFit and they have pain in the morning, right? So Don't confuse a diagnosis with what people want. What they want is that, right? That desired outcome. What is it you need from this? We know what they need. What is it you want from us, right? Well, I want to get back to CrossFit. Now we're getting somewhere, right? And scheduling that same person for low back pain is not the same as scheduling that same person to get back to CrossFit and get rid of their morning pain. All right, question number one. Why? So your front desk hangs up the phone. I'm sitting next to them. I say, why will they arrive? Why will this person arrive? And typically the answer is, well, they wanted to get scheduled for physical therapy for low back pain Thursday at 10:30, and I got them scheduled. And I say, awesome. So they got scheduled for physical therapy. Yes. Thursday at 10:30. Yes. For low back pain. Yes. So again, I ask you, why will they arrive here? They can get that anywhere in town. They can get that from a massage therapist. They can get that from a chiro. They can get that from the acupuncturist. They can get that from a personal trainer. So plain and simple, why will they arrive? And scheduling someone for physical therapy at 10:30 for low back pain is giving people zero reason to arrive. That's a crapshoot. That's a roulette wheel. That's an arrival problem. So why will they arrive? And you'll see these start to flow together, because question number two is, why will they stay? And why will they stay goes deeper into number one. Because again, the job is not to get them scheduled. The job is to get them on the schedule and ready to arrive, pay, stay, complete a plan of care, and do the marketing with you. So why will they stay? And I guarantee you that 99, we could call 100 clinics today, and 99 of the clinics we call wouldn't be able to answer that question. Why will they stay? Because what the front desk person won't understand is that's an emotional question. That's a prepared question. They'll try to jump ahead and think about the results. Well, they'll be getting better, and I'll say, well, what if they're not? Because people who aren't getting better stay and move through their plans of care. So why will they stay? So why will they arrive? Why will they stay? Question number three. What did or what do they want from us? Which again feeds back into the other ones, right? If your front desk can answer what do they want from us, then they're going to know why they will arrive. And then we'll have the start of the conversation to why will they stay? So what do they want? What do they want? That's huge. Not what do they need. The need was answered when you picked the phone up. They're looking for a solution. And they called you to say, I need to get scheduled for low back pain. So unless you ask them about the solution, you can't dig into the need, the wants. Because anybody can meet that need. So don't get stuck on, we've got to figure out their needs. Anybody can meet that. Need someone to look at my back, to tell me what's going on, to give me a plan. So anybody that will schedule them for low back pain can meet that need. What do they want? What do they want? Needs are never going to win. What do they want? And if you can answer that, you will be far more successful this week than going off what do they need. Number four is, was the call all about them? The you versus me test. Were you checking boxes? Were you asking them questions that they knew were just business related? Did you bring up their insurance before they brought it up? Did you ask them, have they had physical therapy before? And they said yes, and when they answered, you went on to the next question. That question is not about them. This is the ultimate test, by the way. Was it about them? If you get to the end of a call and you can check all the boxes were about them and not you, the business, then you did the rest of those things. You knew how to manage the conversation. You knew how to ask the same question two different ways to make it about them and not the business. And then number five is, do they know? And you've heard this. I'll tell you what they need to know. You've heard this throughout the other four. Do they know that they're getting the expert they want, who will tell them what's going on, who can give them their plan, their map, their journey to their desired outcome? Do they know that? If you can check all five of these boxes, then you are on the way to patient success. You are on the way to someone arriving, paying, staying, and doing your marketing with you. You have just set your provider up for extreme success. You've made your provider's job easier in that you're not going to make him get all five of these answers, because you're already going to hand them over to him. I talked about the connectedness of this. All of these five answers go to the provider before the patient arrives. With all these answers, the provider hits the ground running, has a head start on what they need to do with this person. So can you answer these 5 questions? Again, I want you to take those 5 questions and re-engineer or engineer your front desk process. I did them the other way where things kind of fell in place, and then realizing these are the 5 questions. These are the 5 questions that I realized we were getting answered and were really key for the front desk. So during training of the front desk, during training of your front desk, these should be put in front of them before they ever answer a call. Say, we need to be able to answer these 5 calls during the training process, so they know what the expectations are. If we're going to manage expectations of our patients, we got to manage expectations of our staff. All right? So reverse engineer it out so you can get the answer to these 5 questions. Right? How am I going to manage a phone call? By the way, some of the answers to those questions need to go into your marketing program. So when people call, they're already persuaded, primed, whatever you want to say, that yes, this is the beauty. If someone sees something and you pick up the phone and you ask them what they saw or where they saw it, and you continue that conversation, that's awesome. I hear hundreds and hundreds of phone calls where people say, so how did you find us? And they go, oh, I saw your ad or did this or that. And then nobody ever asks what part of the ad did they see. They just go, oh, that's great, and go on. And I'm like, you realize you just tripped over, stumbled over, passed over the most important question at this point in the conversation. What was it you saw on our website? What was it you saw in the ad that got you to call us? That's going to tell you what they want. That's going to make it about them. That's going to tell you why they will arrive. That's going to tell you why they will stay. And you just skipped over it. I've got content floating all over right now on this whole process. And the process is the same for everybody. That's the good news. It just matters how much you want to do of it, how deep you want to go. And if you want to do it yourself or you want help. Okay? And understanding this life cycle and these phases and this cell cycle will have the single biggest impact on your business, bigger than anything else you will do. It's that simple. Again, I saw your ad. Oh, that's great. Versus I saw your ad. Oh, what did you see that got you to call us? And then you write that down. That goes back to the marketing team. That 5-second answer goes back to the marketing team so they know to do that more. That answer goes to the provider. That answer goes in your conversation. That 5 seconds is more valuable to that phone call than any fucking insurance question you're worried about getting to. And I get it. I never, and I'm going to say this again, I never blame a front desk person. I've never said I've had a bad front desk person. I said I've had people who did exactly what they were told and trained to do. And if you don't train your front desk, they will default to the path of least resistance. I've shared the story of the multiple front desk people that have talked me out of coming in as a direct access patient and recommended I go back and see my doctor first. And when I followed up with the business owners, oh yeah, we market to direct access. Oh yeah, we want more direct access, but you never trained your front desk on it. All right? 5 questions, lots of stuff to think about always. I appreciate you all showing up. And on that note, we're going to end it here on that 20-minute, almost 20-minute window. Cheers.